Is Carlos Alcaraz finally regaining his best form after the injury? The young Spaniard continues advancing in the 2025 Rome Masters 1000, and for the first time in his career, he has reached the fourth round of the tournament. After a tough battle against Laslo Djere, Alcaraz not only showed physical strength but also a sharp mindset that is clearly in the process of rebuilding. With Roland Garros fast approaching, the Mercian is making it clear that his goal is not just to win, but to reach 100%. Could Rome be the stage where he fully regains his form and confidence? Carlos Alcaraz keeps ticking off unfinished business in his short but brilliant career, and Rome was one of them. For the first time, he has reached the fourth round of the Italian tournament after defeating Serbia's Laslo Djere 7-6, 6-2. It was a match that started uphill, with a very solid opponent from the baseline who even had clear chances to close out the first set. But Alcaraz managed to hold on, stay mentally strong, and wait for his moment. That resilience led to a much more comfortable second set, where he imposed his rhythm while Djere began to show discomfort in his right elbow. In the mixed zone, the Mercian spoke honestly about what this victory meant. He explained that the start was especially tough because he couldn't find a way to hurt an inspired Djere. When he was serving for the first set, I thought I just had to stay strong and wait for my chance, he said. That ability not to panic, even when things aren't working, is one of Alcaraz's trademarks, and a key factor in his return from the injury suffered at the Barcelona Open. A setback that, little by little, is being left behind. But beyond the result, Alcaraz highlighted something key: the straight set win. I'm trying to come back as well as I can from the injury, he confessed. In long tournaments like the Masters 1000s, where physical wear accumulates, winning without needing a third set is pure gold. It allows him to conserve energy, reduce risks, and maintain better recovery between matches. He himself admitted that staying focused isn't always easy, but that this mental consistency is part of his rebuilding process after the break. His track record in Rome shows how tough it has been to shine in this tournament. In 2023, he fell surprisingly to Fabien Marozsan. In 2024, he couldn't even compete due to physical discomfort, and before that, he was either committed elsewhere or opted to rest. This 2025 marks a turning point. Not only is he competing, but he's determined to stay until the end. With each victory, he looks more comfortable, sharper, closer to the level that led him to win Roland Garros last year. Even so, he's aware there's still a long way to go and tough opponents ahead. Now, his next challenge will be Karen Khachanov, a powerful and experienced player, especially dangerous in these middle rounds. Alcaraz hopes to further improve his level, sharpen his shots, and solidify that physical recovery he has so carefully managed in recent weeks. Every step in Rome not only brings him closer to a major title, but also to the best version of himself, just when he needs it most. Carlos Alcaraz is using Rome as the perfect platform to regain confidence, form, and competitive edge. Winning in 2 sets, staying mentally strong, and handling pressure well are all signs that his recovery is on the right track. This fourth round isn't just a stat, it's confirmation that the Mercian is back in motion and hungry for greatness. If he continues on this upward path, not only will he be a title contender in Rome, but he'll arrive at Roland Garros as one of the main favorites. His game is starting to shine again, and his mindset seems stronger than ever. Is Carlos Alcaraz's path getting tougher in Rome? The world number 3 is moving forward in the Italian Masters 1000, but each round presents a new challenge. After a very demanding win over Laslo Djere, he now faces a rival who, although he has never beaten him, could be his toughest obstacle so far, Karen Khachanov. And if he gets past that wall, the road ahead won't be easy either. Alcaraz could face Jack Draper, the man who knocked him out in Indian Wells. Will he be able to maintain his dominance on clay amid an increasingly fierce draw? Carlos Alcaraz continues to leave his mark in Rome, but not without suffering. After a relatively comfortable debut against Dusan Lajovic, the Mercian had to sweat to overcome Laslo Djere, a clay court specialist and very solid from the baseline. Although he managed to close out the match in 2 sets, it was clear that Carlitos hasn't yet reached his peak form. Now, in the round of 16, he faces Karen Khachanov, a rival who, though he's never beaten him, poses a much greater challenge than his previous opponents in the tournament. The Russian arrives eager to break the streak and pull off an upset. Khachanov hasn't had the best 2025 in terms of results, but he has shown flashes of his best level. He reached the semifinals in Barcelona, and in Rome, he has advanced convincingly, beating Berruchaga and then dominating Francesco Casaro. Although his tennis has been inconsistent at times, his power, serve, and ability to hold long rallies make him a serious threat, especially if Alcaraz once again shows lapses like those seen against Djere. The Russian needs a perfect match, but he's proven that on his day, he can challenge anyone. Historically, Khachanov has not found the formula to beat Alcaraz. They've met 4 times, and in all of them, the Spaniard has come out on top. 3 of those matches were on clay: Roland Garros, Hamburg, and Madrid, where Carlitos not only won but did so without dropping a set, showing clear superiority. The last time they met was in Beijing, on hard court, and again the result favored the Mercian. This record plays in Alcaraz's favor, but also raises expectations. Everyone expects him to show that same authority at the Foro Italico, something that won't be easy if the Russian is locked in. Beyond Khachanov, Alcaraz is already glancing at potential future matchups. If he beats the Russian, he could face Jack Draper in the quarterfinals, one of the most dangerous emerging names on the circuit. The Brit already surprised the Spaniard in Indian Wells, beating him in the semifinals. In Rome, Draper has started strong and, thanks to the unexpected elimination of Holger Rune at the hands of Corentin Moutet, his path to the quarters has opened up. A match between Alcaraz and Draper on clay would be a real test ahead of Roland Garros, both emotionally and tactically. The truth is that every step Alcaraz takes in Rome seems to prepare him not just physically, but also mentally for the big challenge coming in Paris. Masters 1000s are increasingly competitive, and there are no easy opponents, not even in the early rounds. This edition of the Rome tournament is proving to be a testing ground for the Mercian, who needs to rediscover his best version as the difficulty ramps up. So far, he's responded well, but the pressure will increase, and lapses in concentration could be costly. Carlos Alcaraz has cleared his first hurdles in Rome, but the real challenge begins now. Karen Khachanov is a serious exam, and further down the line, Jack Draper could be waiting, the same player who dashed his hopes for a title earlier this season. The tournament draw is relentless, and every win not only keeps him advancing but helps fine-tune his game ahead of Roland Garros. The level of difficulty rises, and the margin for error shrinks. If Alcaraz wants to solidify his status as one of the big favorites in Paris, he'll have to get through this stage of the tournament with intelligence, grit, and the quality that has taken him to the top. Have Carlos Alcaraz's physical issues finally ended? The Mercian, who came into the Rome Masters 1000 with many doubts after a groin injury, has started to dispel concerns with 2 solid victories. Most importantly, his body has responded perfectly. Surpassing the 3rd round in the Italian tournament for the first time, Alcaraz has not only shown good form, but has also confirmed that his recovery is on the right track. Could Rome be the turning point to relaunch his season toward Roland Garros? Carlos Alcaraz has passed his first 2 matches in Rome with flying colors, and the most noteworthy aspect hasn't been the result but how he achieved those wins. Against Laszlo Djere, the Spaniard faced a solid player, very comfortable on clay, and had to hold firm in a very tough first set that ended in a tiebreak. Still, he imposed his superiority in the second set and closed the match 7-6, 6-2. Beyond the technical aspect, what stood out most was his movement, agile, explosive, and without any signs of pain. An excellent sign ahead of the upcoming matches. The doubts were justified. The hamstring and adductor injury had kept him out of the Mutua Madrid Open, raising alarm bells just weeks before Roland Garros.